Hello everybody, how's it going? It's me, Krendor, and today we're going to be taking a look at some great Warhammer faction focuses. I skipped over Stormcast. I mean, listen, I looked at Stormcast, but do I care about Stormcast? No. I care about Rats, and I care about Gitz, and I care about a lot of other ones that are coming out. I actually care about Nighthaunt tomorrow as well, but today we're going to be covering Skaven, and we're going to be covering Gitz. So I want to give my thoughts and opinions on what they've showed off as somebody who plays way too many armies and has played a pretty good amount of Skaven and Gloomspite Gitz. So let's just jump right into it. First things first, I want to mention something because I've seen this all over the internet, okay? So it says here in the article from the start of the week, you'll undoubtedly see things that don't look as powerful as they were in the previous edition. Don't take these in isolation. Literally everything has been refactored, so if a particular unit seems weaker, the chances are that similar units have experienced comparable changes or its niche has become more valuable, okay? Because I've seen some people be like, they nerfed my thing, they nerfed my thing. It's like, all right, calm down. There's probably something happening here, whether they're turning that unit into like a specific, you know, like a monster killer, a support piece, an objective controller, right? So I think a good example was I heard the Carnosaur Old Blood, or Old Blood on Carnosaur or whatever. He obviously had a lot of his attacks kind of nerfed down and people were like, he's bad, he's bad. And then people from the actual Dallas tournament were like, no guys, this thing is insane. They made it like control objectives and it like roars and it could raise its objective control or lower yours. And it's like super hard to take objectives from. And you're like, oh, okay. So a lot of power has shifted from the actual monster into something like that where, you know, it has a defined role now, right? So I just wanted to bring that up because I know there's going to be people like, because there always is. So here we go. Also, I love this art. Really cool stuff on this piece of art here with the Skaven kind of pumping this contraption wheel, and they got all the little, you know, I don't know. This looks really cool. I like it a lot. So anyway, we go to the overview. Each Skaven is entirely convinced that they are the greatest of their race ever to have lived, and that every other Skaven is conspiring against them to keep them from their rightful rewards. Yes, sirree. So let's go down here and find the actual stuff. So battle traits, okay? We've already seen a lot of these. They're showing a lot of this during the Dallas Open thing where it was like Skaven versus Luminous. They were showing a lot of this then. So for the battle traits, we have pick a friendly Skaven unit that has not been deployed, set it up in the reserve tunnels below. It has now been deployed. So you can deploy, I guess, your entire army in the tunnels if you want. It's probably not a good idea, but that's pretty cool, right? Kind of like how Beasts of Chaos currently can be off board completely for the most part, but it's probably not a good idea. So this is pretty cool because you can just set these things up and then in your movement phase, pick a friendly Skaven unit that is in the tunnels to use this ability. Set up that unit wholly within 6 on a friendly, within 6 of a friendly gnawhole and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So pretty cool, right? You can just pop up units next to gnawholes from underground, which I think is really thematic and cool. I will say, if your opponent is smart, they're probably going to keep units by the gnawholes, unless you put them in, like, really inconvenient places, but still, they're probably going to do that, right? So you have to kind of pick your gnawhole places pretty strategically. You don't want to go too crazy, right? But I still love that. I think it's really cool. So then we have once per battle round. Army. Start a battle round. You can use this ability if there are fewer than 3 friendly gnawholes on the battlefield. Set up a gnawhole on the battlefield more than 9 inches from all enemy units, more than 1 inch from all friendly units, and more than 3 inches from all objectives and other terrain features. So once per battle round, if somebody killed a gnawhole, gnawhole's coming back, right? It's popping up somewhere on the board with those parameters or limitations, or whatever you want to call them, and it's just whoop, there it is, right? So I love that. I love that the gnawholes can just keep coming back, right? Your opponent's like, I gotta kill this gnawhole, and then it's like, oh, it's back. And you know, when you think about it, even if they are you know, keeping their units by the gnawholes, that is a unit that you don't have to deal with, right? So maybe you just threw like 100 points of clan rats into a gnawhole, or into the tunnels, sorry, And then they're, you know, using their unit to be like, I don't want these Nahals to have Skaven pop up out of them, and they just sacrifice their unit to stand there. So, you know, there is a trade-off. Like, they are wasting points to stand there and block you from popping up, right? And we have the passive Too Quick to Hit. No mortal damage inflicted on friendly Skaven infantry and cavalry units by retreat abilities. So that's really nice. You know, now that retreating, you take mortal wounds. So Skaven do not take mortal wounds. Granted, I don't know how often you'll be retreating, but it's nice that you don't take mortal wounds. So that's cool. Anytime you don't take damage, pretty nice. And then once per turn, army again. In the enemy hero phase, pick a friendly non-monster Skaven unit that is not in combat and was not set up this turn. Use this ability. So a lot of, you can't do this with this thing, but it can make a normal move as if it was your movement phase, which is really good. Certain things come to my mind, such as your opponent says, I don't know, I'm going to kill your unit right there, right? I'm going to kill your non-monster Skaven unit. I'm going to do it, right? Or maybe they're like, you know what? I'm going to take the center, or like, I'm going to do something like that, right? And then this allows you to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to move that unit. And not only can you move it, you get to do that, and then you can redeploy. Like, you can countercharge. There's so many different things you can do in this situation, which is, I think, really interesting. Like, this is probably my favorite battle trait they've showed for Skaven. And I love all the other ones, like the tunnels thematically and like all this stuff, but being able to move in your opponent's hero phase is really nice. So that's all the ones we've seen for now. I don't know if there is more or if these are the only ones. I guess we'll find out, but we then have battle formations. So these are the sub-faction replacements, I believe. So Clan Molder have contributed terrifying new rat ogres for the Flesh Meld Menagerie. These prize creatures are enhanced by Warpstone, bolstering their melee powers, generating a ward of 5 up, or provoking a self-destructive fury. So here they go. Once per turn, army, in your hero phase, you can pick up to 3 non-hero Molder units to be targets. Roll a dice for each one. On a 1 or a 2, you hurt yourself. On a 3 or a 4, you add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons until the start of your next turn. And then, blinded by frenzy, you get a 5-up ward in addition to the +1 attack. So obviously you want to get a 5 or a 6. That would be fantastic. But, you know, pretty cool. I'm curious to see what the other battle formations will be. I believe the Scryer one was pretty similar to this. I don't know if it's in this article. I don't think it is, but it's like you pick 3 Scryer units and they get +1 attack on their ranged weapons, or +1 to hit, or +1 to wound, I think is what it was, and something else. So, I mean, you know, it seems like a lot of them are going to be clan-based. I'm curious to see what the Clan Pestilent one is. That'll be fun. Probably something with prayers, if I had to guess. Then we have the Manifestation lore, which is summon Warp Lightning Vortex on a 7, which is, you know, cool. We don't know what Warp Lightning Vortex is, but oh, we do. So let's see what new Warp Lightning Vortex is. Any hero phase. If this manifestation was not set up this turn, pick each enemy unit within 6 of this manifestation to be the target. Roll a dice for each target. On a 4-up, they take D3 mortal damage. And then a passive, subtract 2 from run rolls and charge rolls for enemy units while they are within 6 of this manifestation. In addition, if an enemy unit passes across it, inflict D3 mortal damage on enemy unit after the move ability has been resolved. So, this seems pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. And then they're like 7 health, 6-up save. That seems pretty nice because there's 3 parts to the Warp Lightning Vortex, right? So when you go back here now, on a 7, you set up the first part within 18 of the caster, visible to them, and then set up the second and third parts 7 inches from the first part and 7 inches from each other, so they form a triangle. But that's like, what, 18, 19, 20, 25 inches? Like 25-inch range to have subtract 2 from run rolls and charge rolls, which is pretty insane, and then have it just do mortal damage half the time? I mean, that seems pretty good to me. So I'm a fan of that. And that's just something you can take. Like, you can just take those in addition to your normal spell lore. So seems really strong. And then obviously we'll find out the other ones eventually. But Lord Screech, Vermin King. So I love Lord Screech. Currently, he has something similar to this, but he only buffs himself, and it appears they've turned him into a support type of Vermin Lord. So 10-inch move, 13 health, 4 up save, 5 control. Okay. He's got the 7 attack, 3x2, 2 rend, 3 damage, crit 2 hit glaive, which seems pretty solid. That's actually really good. So I mean, you're doing 2 rend, 3 damage, especially in this current kind of meta. They've been not meta, but you know, they've been showing a lot of things where people have a tougher time save stacking. Like there's less save stack ability in the current 4.0 things we've seen, right? So they're trying to make it more impactful and less mortal wounds. So having something like 2 rend, 3 damage seems pretty good. Anyway, declare pick a visibility and I can't read. Pick a visible enemy unit within 13 inches. So they do the whole 13. He's got so many 13s. Then make a casting roll 2d6. Roll 13 dice. For each 5+, you inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. And you return 1 slain model to a friendly clan rat unit wholly within 13 of this unit. So I wish this wasn't wholly within 13. I hate doing wholly within stuff. It just gets really annoying. But this is still really good. This is pretty much what he had before. I don't remember the specifics, but he used to do mortal wounds with this spell, and then he would pop out new clan rats. He wouldn't restore clan rats, but he would like just create new clan rats. So, I mean, this is still pretty good. You're still doing mortal wounds on 5. Well, I guess you roll 13 dice, so like thematic, and then, I mean, on average, you're doing what? 2 mortal wounds out every 6 dice. So like 4 to 5 mortal wounds, then returning like 4 or 5 rats. So I mean, that's not bad. So I mean, if you got some clan rats pretty low, you pop a rally. I don't know if you want to rally clan rats, but they already restore D3. So then you're casting this spell and then restoring D3. So I mean, you're getting a lot of clan rats back if that's the case. So I think it's just worth it for the mortal wounds alone, especially with the reduced amount of mortal wounds in this game from what I've seen. And then this was probably my favorite thing on the War Scroll. So once per turn, army, any combat phase, pick an enemy infantry unit in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll a dice. On a 3-up, the target cannot use commands for the rest of the turn. Not for the rest of your turn, for the rest of the turn. Which is pretty insane. And then subtract an amount equal to the roll from that target's control score until the end of your turn. Or until the start of your next turn. Oh my god, it's even crazier. So yeah, this is insane. And it happens. And I guess it's a keyword rampage. So I feel like this is a monstrous rampage. So it seems like they do like monstrous rampages, even though they aren't like an official broad thing now. It feels like monsters are probably gonna get some rampages, you know what I mean? We'll see, but I'm glad they're keeping that kind of the flavor of monstrous rampages, because I really like them. I think they're always fun. It was one of the incentives to bring monsters and do some cool stuff. So I mean, straight up on a 3-up, you're just shutting down commands, which I guess he's roaring, right? Because that's what roar was. He didn't allow them to use commands, but I think it's even better because it's like for the rest of the turn. Wait, would that be okay? So for the rest of the turn, that's just the rest of the turn, like combat turnover, right? So I guess it is only that. I was thinking like until the start of your next turn, which I guess it specifies here is till so I mean the OC amount is still, okay. Sorry, my brain got fried up. That's still really good, right? I mean, roar was one of the best monstrous rampages you would do. Like people would always roar because you're just disabling all out defense, all out attack. I mean, just everything. Any type of benefit you could have, you're disabling it, which is really good. And then we got the hero phase buffs. So Lord Vermin King can call upon his extensive knowledge of the Skaven clans. You can pick one of the following effects to apply until the start of your next turn. You cannot pick the same effect more than once per battle. So that's the same. Add 1 to casting rolls for friendly Master Clan wizards while they're wholly within 13. So that's good, especially because he's also going to benefit from that. So now your dreaded 13 spells going off on a 6, which is really nice. He's also only a wizard 1, so he used to be a wizard 2. All the Vermin Lords did, and that appears to be not the case anymore. And then, I mean, you're just buffing up all the other wizards, which you're in Skaven, you're probably going to have some wizards, right? You're going to have some Greyseers. I guess Thanquol would probably be in there. Well, I haven't seen Thanquol's War Scroll yet. They haven't showed it, but I would imagine he also gets buffed. He's probably a Master Clan wizard. Or you can pick, add 1 to charge rolls for friendly Verminous units while they're wholly within 13. That's always good. Anytime you can give any unit +1 to charge, it's pretty good. I guess being wholly within 13 is the only downside there, right? Also, this guy... Hold on. Think what the following effects apply until starting next turn, yeah. So you could, I mean, you could put this on him as well. Like, I keep having to remind myself, because this guy is Lord Screech Vermin King. So he is a Scryer, a Molder, a Pestilent, an Eshin, Verminous. Like, he's everything. Master Clan. He's a demon. And so you can give him +1 to charge. You can do 1 to hit rolls for shooting attacks made by friendly Scryer units are wholly within 13. That's a nice one, because you can just sit him by the new Warplock Jezzails and just buff them up. Like, just for free. Like, you don't even have to roll anything. You're just like, all my Jezzails are +1 to hit. And then if they didn't move, they're already +1 to hit anyway. So I believe they're on 4s. So they're just straight up on 2s if that's the case, which is pretty good. Then you have add 1 to the Ren characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly Eshin units while they're wholly within 13. So, I mean, you can get this guy up to Ren 3 damage, which is pretty good. Add 1 to chanting rolls for Pestilent Priests while they are wholly within 13. That's probably going to be pretty good. Depending on the prayers, we'll have to see them eventually. And then heal D3 each friendly Molder unit wholly within 13. So, again, that's pretty nice, because he's a Molder as well, right? So you can heal him up, but everything within 13. So you could have Rat Ogres to get healed up. You could have your Hell Pit gets healed up. Like, you could have a whole bunch of stuff get healed up by Lord Screech with that. Like, this guy, I love this War Scroll. Like, I think it's so cool. You have the flexibility to either buff him or buff other units. Like, I think that's really cool. And then he's just got that built-in monstrous rampage of roaring and lowering objective control. He's got a cool spell. He hits pretty hard. He's got a, 4-up save, 5-up ward. A 10-inch move is pretty good. He's got the 5 OC. So, I mean, he seems good. He seems really good. We'll have to see the points, but I really like Lord Screech. So, that's cool, because I actually built one of my Vermin Lords as Lord Screech so that I could, like, proxy him as whatever I wanted, but now I might just run him as Lord Screech. I also have a Warp Seer, so that's my other Vermin Lord I have. But, really cool. I love it a lot. So, anyway, here's the Rat Ogres. 6 move, 4 health, 5 save, 1 control. 10-inch range, 2d6 attack, 2x4s, 2 rend, 1 damage for the Warp Fire gun. So that's a pretty fun ranged weapon, actually. Just it's only 1 model, though. So you have 1 guy. I mean, listen, you're going to end up rolling a 1 and a 2 or something, right? Or 2 1s. And then you hit with one of them, and then you miss with the other. Like, you wound one. It's going to happen. It does have shoot in combat, though, which is pretty nice, because that's that has to be a thing now. You have to have shoot in combat to actually shoot in combat. And then all of the Rat Ogres have claws, blades, and fangs, which are 5 attacks, 4x3, 1 rend, 2 damage. So if we look back at the thing from earlier, what was it? You get +1 attack and a 5-up ward. So what's that put them at? So 18 attacks, 4x3, 1 rend, 2 damage. And then they're saving on 5s, and they got the 5-up ward, 4 health. So, I mean, they're pretty solid. Plus, you can heal them with a lot of, Molder stuff. So, if you only get a Rat Ogre down to 1 HP, there's numerous ways, as we just saw from Lord Screech, to heal them back up. So, that's pretty nice. I mean, listen, I'm just happy Rat Ogres don't look like ass anymore. Let's be real. That's what I'm happy about. They also have any combat phase. Inflict D3 mortal damage on this unit, then add 1 to the attack characteristic of these units. Okay, I didn't even put that into effect. So, I mean, with the thing from above, you can get up to 7 attacks each. So then you're going 21 attacks, 4s x 3s, 1 rend, 2 damage. And then you do the mortal damage, but maybe you have that ward by then. Maybe you negate one of the mortal damage. Maybe you negate maybe you only take 1 and you're negated. Who knows, right? So this is really good. I like this a lot because I mean, if you run that, you're getting so many attacks, and then I'm just talking like 3 of them. Let's say you run 6 rat ogres and you pop all this stuff and you get everything. I mean, what is that? 42 attacks. 42 attacks, 4s by 3s, 1 run 2 damage. Maybe you all out attack and go 3 by 3, 1 run 2 damage. That's pretty wild. So I mean, I think rat ogres are gonna actually see some play. Who knows? But thank God they have new models. So anyway, now we get to the best thing, the Warp Lightning Cannon. It's back. It's ready. It's got a 20-inch range, 2d6 attacks, hitting on 4s. 3-inch move, 8 health, 4 up save, 2 control, so it's nice. It's got 2. Each attack made with this weapon in a single phase must target the same enemy unit. Each hit inflicts 1 mortal damage on the target, and the attack sequence ends. If this unit is within combat range of a friendly scryer hero, thank God, it can be a hero, any scryer hero, not just the stupid engineer. Add 6 to the attack 6 to the attack characteristic of this unit's Warp Lightning Blast for the rest of the turn. However, each unmodified 1 inflicts D3 mortal wounds after shooting has been resolved. So, if you're a true Skaven player, you're popping this every time. Like, without a doubt. I guess if your hero has to leave for some reason, you're like, whatever, I can't do it. But if there's a hero nearby, you're popping that, right? So, essentially 6 plus 2d6. And no longer do you have to have the days of rolling a dice and seeing what it is, and then being like, oh, I rolled 5 or 6, that sucks. Or like, ooh, I rolled 2 or 3. Now it's just 4s. So it's just 50-50. So if you get 18 shots, you're doing 9 mortal wounds. So it's like, on average, let's just say 6, 3, 3, so you're getting 12. So you're doing like, what, 6 mortal wounds on average? Which, in a game that seems to be reducing the amount of mortal wounds around the board, that's pretty good. And I mean, if you high roll that, you put out like 10 mortal wounds or something, if not more. Yeehaw. Like, that's a spicy meatball, man. So, and I mean, you know, you could end up rolling garbage too and blowing yourself up, but that's the fun of Skaven, right? So, I really love that they kept a lot of the thematic accuracy of the Warp Lightning Cannon just being crazy, either blowing up or doing a bunch of damage to blow something up. And, you know, it's honestly, I like this. I think there's a lot more simplistic and fun to play out with. And, it, you know, it doesn't really lose any flavor either. Like, you never knew, like, sometimes you'd roll the 5 or 6 and be like, I'm not going to do any mortals or whatever. But I really like this Warp Lightning Cannon scroll. I think it's really good. Now, please, Games Workshop, make the Plagueclaw Catapult good. I love the Plagueclaw Catapult, all right? I'm like rambling over my words. It is one of my favorite things, and I just want it to be good. Right now, it's like 80 points. It's like 2 by 3, 2 rend d6, and then it's like 2d6 if you're running into an infantry block or shooting it in the infantry block. I just want a cool catapult ability that's like, because it's Nurgle catapult stuff, right? It's all disease. So I want a thing where you fling this catapult at something, but you can choose to do like a disease effect, and then maybe it inflicts mortal wounds on them, or like it reduces their ability to hit because there's like all this toxic fumes or something. I don't know. I just want something cool like that, not just like a random catapult. So I don't know. There's my catapult rant. Sorry. Gnaw holes. 6 wounds, 4 up save. Each time an enemy ends a move that pass through or across this terrain feature, roll a d3. On a 2 up, they take the mortal damage equal to the roll, so that's pretty cool. It's volatile ground. Models can pass through this terrain feature but cannot be set up on or end moves on any part of this terrain feature. So that's cool, and it's only enemy units, so thank God. Pretty sick. And then once per turn, at the end of your turn, you can pick a friendly non-hero Skaven infantry unit that has been destroyed to be the target. And then just like the Gloomspite Gitz, you get to set up a replacement unit with half the models, wholly within 6 of a friendly gnaw hole, and more than 3 from all enemy units. Rounding up, by the way. Really good. I don't know how Skaven took this long to even have this, because this is like such a Skaven thing of more rats swarming, coming out of the gnaw holes, appearing, right? I think it's really good. I think it's really thematic and cool. It does cost a command point, but like, if you have 6 rat ogres that we just talked about, and then 4 of them come back at the end of your turn, it's pretty good. Turns out getting 4 of your 6 rat ogres back can be pretty good, and only 3 inches away from enemies. Like that's pretty solid as well. So I loved it. I love this rule. I think it's really good, really cool. And then we have pick a friendly Skaven unit that is not in combat and is wholly within 6 of the terrain feature. Remove it from the battlefield. Set it up again wholly within another gnaw hole more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So this is one that we already have. This is the current gnaw hole rule. So it remains. You can warp between gnaw holes. That's pretty sick. Overall, I love the gnaw holes. I love a lot of the rules we've just read. I'm excited for Skaven, man. They seem really fun. I don't know how strong they'll be, but they seem fun, and that's all I want with Skaven. I just want to have a fun time. And then there's a lot of Spearhead stuff. I'm going to play Spearhead. In fact, I'm probably going to do some Spearhead battle reports on the channel, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. But I don't really know too much about Spearhead yet, so I don't really want to read that much into it. I'll do that. I might make a whole video on Spearhead, like once I play it and, you know, actually test it out and see how it is. So the Gracier will probably have these stats though: 6'5", 6'2", 3 attacks, 4x4, 1 Ren D3. So I mean, he's a wizard. He shouldn't be hitting and wounding that hard anyway, right? So now we're off to the Gloomspite Gitz. Boy, oh boy. Here we go. I love me some Gloomspite Gitz. I love how goofy this faction is. So jumping right into it, they still have the moon. Everything is the same with the moon, how it starts in one part of the map, and then it moves to the center, and then it moves to the other part. On a 4-up, that is, it'll like keep moving. Or you can have Scragrod or whatever be like, it's not moving, or it's gonna move. But the buffs have changed. Some of the buffs have changed. So if this unit is a non-squig Moon Clan unit, add 3 to its control score is the first of the bad moon buffs, which, can I just say how oddly worded this is? If the unit is a non-squig Moon Clan unit, so the weird part is it says non in non-bold text, and then squig Moon Clan in bold text. So if you just kind of do the classic Warhammer player maneuver and just read this real quick, you'll just be like, if this unit is a Squig Moon Clan, oh yeah, I get it. Like, you just kind of breeze over the non, then you'll be like, oh yeah, there's my Squig Moon Clan. He gets +3 control score. That's gonna happen. There's gonna be people who do that. I don't know why they just didn't, like, make this more visible or, like, easy to figure out, because it's just, if this unit is a non-Squig Moon Clan. So you have to remember that, like, they should have italicized it or something, or made the text a little bigger and italicized. I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking here, but cool. Objective control is probably going to be pretty important. Then we have Lunar Squigs. If this unit's a Squig unit, you can reroll the random characteristic roll for its move characteristic. So this is worse than what it was. I mean, I don't think it's terrible, but it used to be like you can run and charge, from what I remember, right? It used to be like you can run and charge. So this is definitely a downgrade, but I mean, we don't know the move characteristic, right? So I mean, we'll see what Boingrot and Squig Hoppers and everybody has, but I mean, it's still good. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's not as good as what it was. So, well, that's probably the first nerf I see. Then we have Trogs get +1 to save like they used to. And then we have Spider Fang units crit on 5s. So Spider Fang's still around. Good to see. Maybe that means they'll get some new stuff. And then this is the whole thing about the moon moving. So we have battle formation, so a sub-faction type thing. We got the Squigalanche. Each time a friendly Squig unit charges, add 1 to the attack characteristic of its fang-filled gobs. Massive gob, gobby gobs, gobs for the rest of the turn. So, +1 attack on the charge. Cool. That's one of the current things they have right now, pretty much, for sub-factions. Which, they made it seem like battle formations were going to be this crazy new thing, and it's just like, oh, it's literally the thing they had from the sub-faction. Like, oh, okay. I don't know. So it feels like they're just sub-factions still. So, like, I don't know. Anyway. We've got Sneaky Distraction. Pick a friendly Gloomspite Gitz wizard to cast this spell. Make a 2d6 roll. Subtract 1 from hit rolls by enemy units wholly within 12. So, I always hate that it's wholly within 12. Again, I mentioned that earlier. It's just annoying. But it's pretty nice. I mean, you know, putting him in like a big block of trogs or something, right? Imagine just like 2 big blocks of trogs, and then this wizard's just sitting there, and he's just in the middle of them casting this big, you know, 12-inch bubble, and you're like, I'm gonna take the middle, and you take the middle and sit there, and then your opponent's like, oh my god. The moon's there, right? The trogs are +1 to save, they're healing, they're -1 to hit, it's just gonna be annoying, right? So I can see that being a thing, which is pretty cool. Like, I still think it's a good spell. Then we have Scragrot. There he is. He was one of the most busted War Scrolls back when the Gitz book came out. He was insanely undercosted. So he's got a 5-inch move, 6 health, 6 save, 2 control. He does have a 4-up ward, however. He also is a Wizard 2, which I haven't seen many Wizard 2s. Like, even the Vermin Lords are only Wizard 1. So I think Wizard 2 is going to be much more rare comparatively to what it was in 3.0. So we have once per battle round reaction, you declared the Bad Moon's Orbit ability. Choose whether it moves or stays instead of rolling the dice. So cool. That's what I was saying. I mean, it's very strong, right? You can, if the moon's in the middle, you could be like, hey, it's staying in the middle. Yeehaw. 4 attack, 3x4, 1 run, 2d3 damage. You don't want him in melee anyway. And then he's got the Babbling Wand, which I think is pretty cool. You declared the redeploy command for a friendly Moonclan unit wholly within 12 of this unit. If you roll a 1 through 3 when determining the distance that unit can move, you can use a value of 4 instead. So instead of redeploying terribly, you're guaranteed to get a 4-inch redeploy, which is it can be pretty strong, right? Like, if somebody's trying to charge you and they are, you know, even like 4 inches away, and then you get a 4-inch redeploy, like, all of a sudden that's an 8-inch charge, right? So I mean, it can get pretty crazy, right? Or even a 3-inch to a 7-inch charge. Like, this can be really strong. The amount of times I have had god awful redeploys is too damn high. So having a guaranteed 4 as the minimums it seems really nice. So I think this is really strong, really cool. And then he keeps his spell that he had from the previous edition, which is you roll 2d6, pick a unit within 18. You roll a number of dice equal to the unmodified casting roll, and every 3 ups a mortal wound. It's very strong. It's probably even stronger in this edition, to be honest. So who would have guessed that doing mortals on a 3-up is strong? So especially now with mortal wounds being less frequent. Also, another thing I noticed is he doesn't have any pluses to cast. I think pluses to cast are also going to become more rare, which I personally like. I don't really like when things were getting out of, like, they were getting out of hand. It was just like plus, 2, 3 to cast, and if your wizard didn't have that, it kind of just felt bad. So, and then if you play Warhammer Fantasy, it's even more insane, where you're like, yeah, I'm a level 4 wizard, I'm +4 to cast. Oh, you don't got one? That sucks. So I actually prefer this type of thing where only the most insane wizards are getting like +1 and +2 to cast. So we'll see. Next up, Gabapalooza. Thank God they sorted this War Scroll out, because it was... I played Gitz like the other month, and just figuring out like who was casting what and which person did what was so annoying. They keep their thing they had, which is 4-up ward in the first battle round, 5-up in the second, 6 in the third and after. They're on a 6-up save, 3 health each. So you've got 5. So I mean, this is pretty much like 15 health, 6-up save with a ward. So I mean, it's not bad. And then the big thing here, you get your Gabapalooza no-watts. So they have roll a dice. On a 3-up, pick one of the following effects. Add 1 to run and charge rolls. Pick a friendly Gloomspite Gitz unit within this combat range. Add 1 to the Ren characteristic till the start of your next turn, which is good. Which also, by the way, This is really strong now too. So you put add 1 to run and charge rolls on your squigs, and now squigs have the ability to countercharge. So this is lasting until the start of your next turn. So I mean, let's say you're +1 to run and charge. You get +1 attack from charging with your squigs, and now you can countercharge into your opponent's thing at +1, and then you're getting +1 attack on your opponent's turn. Like, that's pretty strong. So that's why I think that's one of the reasons they nerfed the moon ability, because countercharge is going to be pretty insane for squigs. And then pick a unit within 12. They can't issue, or no, they cannot use commands. Okay. Which is very good. People can't countercharge you. Which is good, and do anything else. All out defense, all that stuff. This is what I've seen a lot of people talking about, the old squig herd. So D6 +3 move, 1 health, 6 up save, 1 control. They got the gobs, they got the squig prodders. 1 and 6 is a herder. For every 2 up, you roll a dice with a squig herd. You return D3 slain cave squigs to this unit. For each 1, the squig herder is slain instead. And each time a model in this unit slain by combat attack, that model was in combat with the attacking unit, roll dice on a 5 up, inflict the mortal damage on the attacking unit after the fight ability has been resolved. So if you're within 3 inches, because that's combat range, right? I believe that's what they're referring to as combat range. So like if your squig is 4 inches out, he can't do this. So he can't die and be like, ah, you have to be close enough. You roll the dice, and on a 5 up, you do a mortal wound. And then this unit has a max control of 1, so that's kind of funny. They can issue commands now. They used to not be able to issue commands, so they couldn't all-out attack and stuff like that, but now they can. I am glad this unit got nerfed. I am so glad this unit got nerfed, because it was so annoying. This was such an annoying unit to deal with, and I say that as somebody who ran a large amount of squig herd. It was, especially when the game, or the Gitz book came out, this was so busted, man. This was like, having squig herd should not have had 2 health. Like, I am so glad they're down to 1 health. That was the dumbest thing. The fact they had 2 health. And they just did so much damage for like 100 and something points. Like, it was busted. It was insane. And it was so annoying, because there was so many squig herd. You had to roll like 800 dice, and then they would just all run away and do mortal wounds really easily. So I think this feels much better as like a funny squig chaff unit. That's what it should be. And I think they realized that, and I'm happy about it, because this unit was it was annoying. So if you like your squig herd, I'm sorry. I like squig herd, but they were dumb. Straight up. So, cool. Bad Moon Loon Shrine. It does what it used to do. However, now you can bring back half a unit instead of rolling a dice with a command point. So command points getting even more important now. However, I think one of the biggest buffs to the Gloomspite Gitz, maybe Skaven as well, is there's no more bravery, right? Bravery's gone, folks. Bye-bye bravery. It's all over. No more shit running away. I mean, listen, how many times did I play Skaven or Gloomspite Gitz and I had to save a command point to use at the end so my stuff didn't run away, right? Now, they won't run away, and I can use that command point at the end of both of these armies' turns to bring back dead units. Like, that's phenomenal. So, I'm really happy about that. I'm glad they kept that for the Gitz as well, and they made it a command point, which I think is really cool. So, that's pretty much it for the Gitz. They did show off the Rotgut profile, which it's not going to be the Sigmar version, but I would imagine it's going to be pretty close. So the base stats will be the same, 6, 5, 4, 2. So 5 health on the Trogs, which is nice. 4 up save. You're getting a 3 up in the moon, and you got a 5 up ward. So 5 health, 3 up, 5 up. Pretty good with 2 control. The boulders used to just be mortals. Now it's just a ranged attack, which I think is actually cool. I always got confused by the dumb boulder mortal wound attacks. And they're still pretty fun. Like, it's hard to hit them because you're a Trog being like, right? But if you do hit on the 5 up, you wound on a 2 up, and then 2 Ren D3 damage. Like, not bad. I actually think those boulders can do pretty good work, especially when you're throwing, you know, 6 of them or something before you charge it. Or maybe somebody charges you and then you unleash hell and hope you roll some 6s or something. I don't know. But I think it's pretty fun, especially because I love the goofiness of like the 5x2 boulders. You know what I mean? So then you've got 2 attacks, 4s x2s, 2 rend, 3 damage. They hit hard still. And then they heal D3. So they'll probably get another ability or maybe another heal or something like that. But I can also see them having the heal in Sigmar as well. So that's it. That's all the stuff that we've seen. I'm loving it, man. I'm still pumped for 4.0. I'm excited for some Night Haunt. I want to see Seraphon. I want to see Deepkin. I want to see Beast of Chaos, even though they're going away. I want to see some orcs, dude. Cruel boys. Can we please get some cruel boy help? Can we get them some real battle tactic or battle traits and command abilities and just war scroll, please? Can we fix the cruel boys? That would be great. You know, new Iron Jaw abilities. Who else do I got over here? Sylvaneth's gonna be a good one. Nurgle. I saw rumors they're still having the disease points, maybe like in a different way. I love my disease points, so maybe we can make Tzeentch not annoying to play against. Who knows? We're going to find out in the next couple of weeks, and it should be good. So thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Okay. See ya.